What's up, you absolute legends? Welcome back to another community video. Before we begin today's guide, please take this time to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. My next objective is to reach 6,000 subscribers. Thank you. Now for the video. Before we get into dealing with how to respond to criticism most effectively, we should first begin by outlining what constructive criticism looks like. So constructive criticism is a feedback method that offers specific, actionable recommendations, and good constructive feedback facilitates positive outcomes and creates a positive working environment. It also provides a safe space where a person feels secure enough to ask questions, seek help, and share ideas. Now, the reason for providing this definition first is because it can help us filter through a lot of comments that we may receive whilst producing our work, many of which may even be unproductive, saving us time, focusing on the right kind of comments that we're looking for, ones that can help us improve and become better at what we are doing. Here are 4 ways you can interpret criticism the right way. 1. Decipher the nature of the criticism first. We are doing this as the first step because it can save us a lot of time that we may invest into meaningless feedback that we may receive. And what I mean by meaningless feedback is you can determine that by the kind of language used by the person when they're speaking towards you. Meaningless feedback may involve someone who's simply using put down words towards you or offensive kind of language, which really only serves the benefit of trying to destroy you, possibly emotionally, and affect you psychologically. So they're just using the opportunity of you presenting your work as a time to attack you, really. Unfortunately, these kinds of characters exist, and we have to be aware of this. You could refer to them as toxic kinds of people. If you get language which appears toxic and someone approaching you in that manner, it's absolutely within your right to completely ignore the comment and not take it on board at all. Because anyway, there's not really anything productive there for you to take on board if you think about it. If someone's using offensive language towards you, we're not gaining much insight of what we could do better with what we've shown them, right? So there's nothing good about it at all. On the other hand, we're going to try to look for constructive criticism, as we defined earlier. Anything which kind of outlines to us things we can improve on. So if the person is sharing with us examples of our work or sharing ideas of things we could do better, suggestions, that's good. That's the kind of stuff we want to be open to and look to utilize. And by doing so, we have to be kind of objective and honest with ourselves, honest that we don't know everything. We're not the best. There's always room to improve. We can't be a know-it-all. We have to be ready to expose our own weaknesses and let others do that for us too. And by doing so, you're considering that person a friend because they are helping you. So take on board constructive criticism where there is clearly outlined suggestions, examples of things to improve on. That's the kind of criticism you'd like to take on board when you're getting certain comments coming your way. And then from there, you'll look for the truth in those comments. 2. Be happy to know there are things you could become even better at. This has a lot to do with interpreting comments that come your way positively. Okay, so sometimes we may get comments that they're harsh truths, right? They could bruise our egos, they could make us feel upset. That's fine because obviously most of us are very passionate about the time and effort that we put into our work, and we really want a good outcome. So when that does not happen, of course, it's definitely likely that we could maybe feel upset not to get the certain reaction we wanted from some people. To get over that, look to interpret comments in a positive way. There's room for growth. So guess what? You think you're strong and good now, you can become even better and do even better. Look at comments that come your way as an opportunity to grow. Find the purpose behind them, how you could develop yourself into something more than what you are now, and use that energy in a good way to propel you forward instead of thinking, oh, I suck, I'm really not that good at this, I should quit, I should give up. Don't think like that. Be optimistic and take everything in your stride. 3. Appreciate the time and effort put in by the person giving the criticism. Now, this is obviously if the person is giving you constructive feedback, we're talking about here. As we said earlier, if it just appears to be a toxic person putting you down with no benefit to their comment, you can simply ignore it. But, sure, if someone's giving you constructive feedback and they've put a lot of time and effort into it, consider that person a potential mentor, a potential friend. Appreciate that in them. Who knows what kind of a relationship you could develop with them moving forward. They could be someone who are constantly on your side and constantly advise you for the better and turn into a great supporter. It's always good to keep an open mind to people when they approach you to see what kind of feedback they may have for you that can make you better at your craft. And obviously, it just forms a good atmosphere to share positivity back to that person and make them feel appreciated. 4. Take action. Be disciplined and act upon the advice given. Be honest with yourself about your performance and see the differences from past and present. In order for us to get better, we need criticism. Criticism is a good thing. We don't know what path we're on, whether or not we're on the right path, unless we get some kind of feedback, okay? That could be our own feedback from reflecting upon our own work and seeing what we could do better. The more minds we have on a project, the better it is. Multiple minds are better than just your own mind, okay? Because many different perspectives can help open your mind to new possibilities and show you better ways of doing things. It is very important to utilize feedback to set new goals and be disciplined to action them. We can't improve from feedback unless we set it into action, and we'll always remain in the same position until we do so. Be willing to sacrifice the insufficient aspects of yourself to gain new qualities, okay? That process may be painful because maybe there's some ideals that you have that you've become quite comfortable in having that you think are good, but they're actually holding you back. So growth is a painful process because you're almost tearing away aspects of yourself. But by tearing away those aspects of yourself, you're giving room for new things to come into place and to transform for the better. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope to catch you on the next guide.